Hello and welcome to the Smartest Moron, with another Top 10. Oh boy, I have been waiting to do a list like this for a long ass time. Sometimes a game can give you characters you really love, maybe even look up to based on their struggles. Other times, however, you are given characters that drive you up a freaking wall and make you shout, "Why are you still here?" Now, this list may change in the future, but for right now, these are the top 10 characters that I hate with a bloody passion that consumes my soul. An honorable mention goes to Baird from Gears of War for just being annoying, but I haven't finished the series yet, so who knows, maybe he'll get better. And Maximilian for not just killing Salvaria, but for being a horribly boring villain. Now, on with the list. Number 10, Patroclus from Soul Calibur 5. Believe it or not, I actually forgot this guy existed, and was reminded just as I finalized doing these voiceovers. Yeah, those are fun to do again. That's really the only reason Patroclus is on this list, especially this low, as there are similar characters like him here, but his story is done faster than I can blink, so it doesn't instill me with rage. Well, he's pretty much a selfish asshole, though the reasoning is mostly solid, having been raised by someone who helped shift his views into just killing anyone for, reasons. The problem, aside from this guy being the main hero, is his rushed development that doesn't seem convincing in the slightest, especially when being put against other characters I would have preferred to be the main heroes. There's the mastery of a weapon style with no explanation, there's treating his sister like crap even though she helped save his life, there's being a tool towards the end, and overall just an unlikable personality. Still, unlike other certain jerks, he actually does at least develop, and becomes a hero. Moreover, I never felt the other characters were turned into idiots, and it's not his fault they got less screen time. He's still a horrible character though, but not worth the rage anymore. Also, he makes the list for his other costume, which reminds me a bit of Reboot Vergil. Oh, don't worry, we'll get to him soon. Number 9. Shion Uzuki from Xenosaga 3. I'll be honest here, I only hate her in the third game. Game 1, she was a fairly good character as far as I can remember. Game 2, I can't remember because I suppressed bad memories of that with booze. I know I don't like it, but it does help out a lot. Game 3 was the final straw with me, though only at the finale since, well, I enjoy Xenosaga 3. Despite some rushed crap here and there. Or everywhere. During the build up towards that, Shion is losing her mind from a lot of trauma. At first, it's understandable given the situation, up until she starts whining about how no one understands her pain, and then suddenly siding with her zombie boyfriend in one of the final battles. Despite the shit her friends went through in the other friggin' games. I finally saw what people hated in this character, or at least had something to push me over the freaking edge with her. Seriously, she says this stuff knowing full well the crap everyone underwent? It just makes her come off as whiny and clingy when she sides with her boyfriend. I had no remorse when attacking her at all. She'd be higher on this list if she fully committed to the dark side, but thank God she didn't. Number 8. Pyramid from Enslaved. Already did a video on him, so I'll keep this short. Pyramid is the main antagonist of Enslaved, trying to rule over the world torn apart by war, enslaving people while constantly making robots to kill them. He is only present at the end of the game, revealing his purpose of making people live in his imaginary world, or cyber world, however you want to phrase that, rejecting the notion that they are slaves. The problem is that he is so friggin' contradictory, it hurts. How? Well, on one of those ships, the computer itself refers to the people trapped there as slaves! Not only that, but he has that slave headband as a lethal object, as we also see a slave get executed for disobeying an order by helping Monkey. Oh, and how about making robots that are constantly killing people, including the giant ones like the friggin' Leviathan? Seriously, what the hell was the point of making that one? But no, let's make this genuine, ruin the dynamic between the two characters by having Monkey show he can live without Trip apparently, and ask a question to attempt to be deep and can be answered by a goddamn 8-year-old given the horrible writing of this script. Just go play Fallout the Pet for a more morally questionable story. Maybe I should review that. Number 7. Vergil from the DMC reboot. I am honestly shocked that Vergil is this low on the list. Why? Because he is one of the key dumbasses that turns the DMC reboot's plot into absolute garbage, lacking a lot of things that make the original Vergil so damn awesome. He's presented as a man who is smart, yet he still manages to make a lot of bad decisions. There's the pointless comic book, oh don't worry, we'll get to that one eventually, where he willingly let Kat get tortured without earning her loyalty, leading to his plan to frickin' crumble. Then when Kat is kidnapped, he wants to discard her. Except he needed her to defeat Mundus, so the argument with Dante is pointless. Then there's the plot twist in which he has the chance to talk it out with Dante, and goes right to trying to kill the dude who has easily proven he is the stronger of the two brothers. Hell, it was mostly Dante that destroyed Mundus. But then came the DLC to cement his status as a complete frigging idiot. The illusions of his friends are meant to represent what they think about him, but they kinda clash with Vergil's actions in the game, especially Kat loving Dante more, as Vergil manipulated his and her memories of loving each other in the comic, oh yeah, he actually did that, because he was afraid of those feelings distracting him. And finally there's his mother, who he hates because he thinks she loved Dante more than him. Yeah, that was the final straw. You know, if there was more than one of those anyway, considering so much about this reboot pisses me off. But yes, Vergil, your family loved Dante more. By shoving him into an orphanage filled with demons without his memories, while you had a fairly cushy life. Dumbass. This Vergil is the antithesis of the original, and is just garbage. Number 6. Dante and Beatrice from Dante's Inferno. I honestly couldn't decide, and both of them lack enough character that they will count as just one. Dante is a two-faced person, claiming to do the right thing by doing God's work in the Crusades, but was just being awful. Outside of slaughtering people even when told not to do that to frigging prisoners, he let his girlfriend's brother take the fall, cheated on that same girlfriend, and then kept lying in hell until the truth is revealed to his now dead girlfriend. He only had one good scene at the end, but then it's resolved in such an asinine way. The game just loves to throw excuses that don't really justify his actions, nor make him consistent. Plus it was clear he thought his sins could be clean without a confession, unable to even admit his flaws until that one point in hell. But then we have Beatrice, who is heavily sexualized even when in danger and dead. On top of barely having a character, she is apparently meant to be pure, maybe connected to angels and everything holy given her cross and how Dante uses it, and she makes a bet with the devil. I repeat, someone devoted to God and likely should have known about the Crusades being a freaking lie, let her bro and Dante waste their time killing people, and made a deal for Dante's safety with the devil. At least if he was dead and it was to revive him because God refused, yeah, I can kinda understand that, but nope. In what universe does her motivation make any goddamn sense? You are making Reboot Vergil look smart! God damn it, I hate these two. At least it can't get anywhere. Oh right, 5 more. Crap. Number 5. Sheath from Project Cross Zone 2. Did you hear all that noise? That was me banging my head against the frigging wall. This is where I deal with all that time with this godforsaken character. Sheath from Project Cross Zone 2 was hands down one of the most frustrating characters I have ever had the displeasure of dealing with. Her design is pure fan service, her personality and dialogue make little sense, and she projects no sense of dread outside of, dear God, I have to listen to her for over 40 hours. She's a waste of a villain, and the only way she could be worse is if she was voiced by Jar Jar Binks. Number 4. Barthandelus from Final Fantasy XIII. Oh, I bet you were expecting Snow or something. Snow at least has a constant presence and a reason for his actions. Barthandelus though only lasts in one game, and is hands down the worst of the 3 villains in this frigging trilogy. In a story that touches on manipulation of people's l'Cie and the government, he straight up tells the gang what he wants. He wants to die so he can destroy Cocoon. Then he occasionally fights them, and that's it really. Oh, and turning into Sarah at one point to get them angry and strike at their hearts. Except here's a simple thing he could have done to avoid the hero spoiling his plot. Not tell them a goddamn thing! You told them your plan, and now rely on them to be so stupid and try and kill you anyway. Which somehow works, even though the gang can either stay on pulse and do nothing, or kill themselves, or even try and find a way that doesn't involve Etro helping them and making the situation worse. Yeah, it wasn't the strength of their will that saved them from turning into monsters. The story should have had a smarter villain who was capable of manipulating the party, try to blind them with a need for vengeance. As tired of him as I am, someone like Terami from BlazBlue would have benefited being in this role, as he can constantly antagonize the party to trick them into killing him. Plus, there's no reason Barthandelus can't kill himself, barring maybe program commands from God in Game 3, and that still makes no sense, as it seems he does have some form of will. Hell, he kills a flunky who wasn't a threat, yet as we see in the DLC of 13-2, she likely would have joined him given her sadistic nature. He hates humans and loves destruction. Here's an idea, God. Just make him like every other Faustian cocoon, install a self-destruct program when the population gets too big, and done. Your convoluted plan is finished. Simple. Also, his boss fights were really, really bad. His forms were symbolic though, and that he was a wall blocking your progress given all these goddamn hallways. Thanks for the reminder, dick. Number 3. Shinji Matou from Fate's Stay Night and Extra. I am not a Type Moon fanatic, and originally I was going to put Gilgamesh due to how I hated how different he was from the original story I read in college, and just horribly overpowered. But at least the guy can be funny and spoofs, and also occasionally offer some really damn good fight scenes. If you haven't seen him in Carnival Phantasm, I highly recommend it, especially the one with Saber. Shinji, on the other hand, good friggin' god, I hate this guy so much, and I'm surprised I didn't put him as number 1. He is the brother to Sakura, though not related by blood. He once liked her, but as time went on, he began to hate her for seemingly taking the attention of their grandfather, who was also evil. Also, he had Sakura with the worms, and I am censoring this image with Heihachi's ass because that is somehow more pleasant to look at. He was also being manipulated by Zoken, sure, but that doesn't quite excuse his hard methods. Using that hatred, he abused Sakura. This included constant rape. Didn't stop there, as he also attempted to rape Rin in another route before being stopped by Lancer. Rape is horrible enough and really should only be included in a plot when it can properly deal with it, and he hardly even warrants this stuff as he's a pathetic character. Even the show based on the visual novel treats him like a joke. And does he ever develop? Good God, no. He dies in 2 routes and gets amnesia in another, as opposed to learning a damn thing. Still, at least he dies early, so I can take comfort in that. As for his Fate Extra counterpart, well, in an alternate universe or future or some other bullcrap I can't remember, it confirms what I think of the character. He's just some shock character. The rape and his Fate Extra counterpart being just an 8-year-old who dies, there is nothing else to him. Even if you take away all of this horrid stuff to make him a villain or something, he's just some jerk who somehow gets women, is less talented in magic than even Shiro, and a cliche that you want dead as opposed to feel sorry for. And yet this character seems to have genuine fans. I am not one of them, and hope he continues to suffer. Number 2. Prince Charmles from Dragon Quest VIII. What's worse than a bad villain or a character just made for shock? How about an asshole that harms character development and nearly ruins an ending? That's what this asshole is. I'm sure I'll get a lot of flack for this, but at least Shinji was kind of important to the plot, hence why he ain't at the top. Not so with Charmles. Charmles is a spoiled prince, yet his father still expected him to slay a giant lizard to become king, only to get the heroes group to help because even his father knew the guy had no talent. And that's kind of the king's fault for not training his damn son and let him stuff his face all damn day. This kid is going to be king for God's sake. Teach him something! And as you might expect, Charmles is painful to deal with. Not only that, but even after you kill a few giant lizards followed by a Godzilla baby, he throws away all the hard-earned jewels because they aren't big enough and just ends up buying a huge gem. At least that causes his downfall though. Even Jessica points this out, but in order to get the mirror to chase Dolmagus down, we need to swallow our pride, keep doing this crap without punting him off into the freaking sun. Then there's the, animal cruelty! Trying to ride and whip not just a horse, but the princess planned for him to marry. And forgetting that she's just a horse for just a second, he was taking and harming an animal that didn't belong to him. Not only that, but he was ready to whip Trode as well for interfering in the matter. I know Trode thinks he has to endure for the sake of the marriage, but why? We are never given a real reason why this marriage is so damn important. These kingdoms seem at peace, so it's not like they need to unite against a common threat besides Dolmagus, who is barely a blip on the radar currently. This kid is a malicious psychopath who cares for no one else, and also he can keep getting his way for something he didn't even earn. And his father allows this shit for a long ass time. But that's not enough for a high place on this list. Oh no. Then we have the ending, where he doesn't want you to go to his wedding with Princess Medea. Where the hell do I even begin with how awful this ending bit is? At least until Charmles is put in his place. First of all, you goddamn brat, you aren't king yet. You are just a prince. There are 2 kings whose authority ranks higher than yours, including Medea's father, who was with us as we kicked the living hell out of the big bad of the game and saved the world. Number 2, we saved the world! Drone knows this. His kingdom and many others know this. Hell, we see people in the cathedral that we helped. What should have happened was those people speaking up on behalf of the party. Show how the heroes didn't just stop Rapthorn, but also help save these various people from their own problems, including another king and his damn depression. But no, we get more Charmles bitching. Truly worth it. Although I do admit I get some satisfaction in seeing the Templars getting their asses kicked. If it weren't for how sweet the moments between the hero and Medea were, I would have said this ending sucks. And hey, we are getting a Jessica ending later, so Charmles didn't ruin this game for me. But good God, the writing needed to be improved, and yet somehow there is still someone worse than both him and Shinji. And number 1, Geralt from the last story. Now, Charmles is bad, but he didn't destroy the game for me. It's still one of my favorite games, and Charmles was only relevant in 2 moments. Geralt, on the other hand, is a cliche that needs to die, but also makes the characters completely stupid, and is very present in the freaking plot. He isn't even a threat like Barthandelus. Geralt is just a prince from a country that never factors into the plot, and tries to get Zale killed just so he can continue to abuse Callista, treating her as his property before they are even wed, and doesn't that sound familiar? This leads to multiple dumb events that show how stupid Zale is, like letting his friend suffer for the sake of Callista, shaking Geralt's hand, getting poisoned, and suddenly healed for no reason. See, even the points that would make sense don't make sense. But here's the real kicker. Zale is the only one capable of saving him. Every person I listed on this list benefits from the death of their enemy, or just getting them out of their way. Okay, maybe not Barthandelus, as he needs those idiots. Look, don't ruin my point! Geralt doesn't benefit from Zale vanishing, as the Garak would have murdered the prince on the very first siege. Plus, Zale has the power of the outsider, hence why he is needed so damn much. It's the only way he can fight off the Garak. He shows no sympathy for others. Everyone's just a tool for him to use or imprison for his current needs. The only moment I can honestly understand his character is when the Garak King uses Geralt's despair to grant him a weapon to kill Zale. And this was only because Geralt was actually framed for something and put in prison. That's fair enough, but then to ask for my damn sympathy. I'm sorry, but he hasn't done anything to warrant that. At least with Charmles and Shinji you can argue they're kids. This is a grown-ass man. Even his dying words just show he is a spoiled brat that doesn't value any life but his own. As a villain, he's pathetic, which is the idea, I guess, but he's worse at just being human, let alone the king he wanted to be. All he wants is comfort, which is kinda what he already has, being a prince and all. He is a trope that needs to die, and thus is the character I hate the most. And that's my list. It definitely drove me insane, brought back bad memories, but it's important to acknowledge what you hate, what you think is bad, to help appreciate things that are actually good. It's why I review bad games too, and this just comes with the territory. Fortunately, I still got plenty of great games to review in the future, so despite my rage, I am moving ahead with my chin held high. But hey, if you have a character you hate, how about listing them down below, and maybe I'll look at that game out of sheer curiosity. I'm the smartest moron, and may you have a day where you don't punch a hole in your computer. Like I wanted to. It's taunting me.